She vanished without a sound. No scream, no struggle, no goodbye. Just silence and a single light left on in a Michigan farmhouse that would become the center of a nightmare. Dee Warner was a mother, a businesswoman, a fighter. She had plans, dreams, and people who loved her. But one April night in 2021, she disappeared from her home, vanished as if the ground swallowed her whole. And the man she shared that home with didn't seem the least bit alarmed. What followed was a mystery that gripped the town, tore a family apart, and exposed chilling secrets buried not just in the soil, but in steel. This isn't just another missing persons case. This is a story of betrayal, power, silence, and a search that uncovered something no one was ready for. If you care about justice, if you believe every missing person deserves a voice, if you want the truth, no matter how dark, then subscribe to this channel right now, because what you're about to hear will shake you. This is the haunting story of Dee Warner, and the terrifying truth that took over 4 years to rise from the shadows. The early spring air carried a deceptive warmth across the fields of Franklin Township, Michigan, the kind that promised new life even as something darker festered beneath the surface. On the morning of April 25th, 2021, the sun rose over the Warner family farm like it always had, quiet, wide, and unassuming. But inside the large farmhouse that sat tucked between rows of cultivated land, something was missing. Someone was missing. Dee Warner was a force of nature. A successful businesswoman, mother of 5, and the kind of person whose laughter always seemed to fill a room long after she had left it. Her disappearance struck her loved ones like a sharp, sudden winter frost. Unnatural, impossible. When her daughter went to check on her that morning, Dee's phone was dead, her purse untouched, her truck still parked outside. The silence in that house was not the kind that comes with peace. It was the kind that screams. And Dale Warner, her husband, stood in the middle of it all, calm. Too calm. He told police they had argued the night before. He claimed she stormed out and vanished into the night, perhaps running away, maybe overwhelmed, maybe irrational, maybe another woman gone of her own accord, as if women like Dee Warner could ever just disappear. The first officers on scene weren't suspicious enough. There was no sign of forced entry, no blood, no shattered furniture. Nothing you could put in an arrest report. But Dee's family, her siblings, her children, knew better. Something wasn't right, and Dale was a storm in the middle of it. Over the next few months, the Warner property was searched repeatedly. Cadaver dogs were brought in. A private investigator named Billy Little, known for solving cold cases, flew in and spent hours with the family, walking the grounds, listening to Dale's alibis, documenting contradictions. Dale refused to take a polygraph. He lawyered up quickly. He started changing the locks and the passwords to family businesses. What he didn't do was join the searches for his wife. Dee's daughter offered a $50,000 reward. Friends created Facebook pages and organized community searches. The FBI joined the investigation. But as the months stretched into a year and then 2, no answers came. Dee Warner had vanished without a trace. Behind the scenes, however, things were moving. Slowly, painfully, investigators were building something. Michigan State Police took over the case in 2022 and quietly re-interviewed everyone in Dee's life. They pored over business records, GPS data, cell phone pings, Dale's financial moves, and his cold, calculated behavior. Friends whispered about a troubled marriage, allegations of abuse, and a man who controlled everything, including Dee's movements and her money. In 2023, the state filed to have Dee declared legally dead. Dale objected. He argued there was no body, that his wife could have just walked away. He showed up to court clean-shaven, polite, quiet. But when the hearing was over, he refused to comment to reporters. He avoided eye contact with her family. His eyes, those who saw them said, had no grief. Then, on November 21st, 2023, everything changed. In a surprise move, Dale Warner was arrested and charged with open murder and tampering with evidence. The media called it a no-body case, a rare and difficult legal maneuver that requires overwhelming circumstantial evidence. Dee's family broke into tears outside the courthouse. The sheriff's department said they had enough to prove Dale killed his wife, even if they still hadn't found her. Prosecutors described a pattern of coercive control, financial abuse, and threats. They revealed that Dale had made disturbing comments to multiple people in the weeks before Dee vanished. Threats that were vague but menacing. One witness told investigators Dale once said, "If Dee ever tries to leave, she'll disappear." But Dale's defense team fought back hard. They argued there was no forensic evidence. No blood, no weapon, no body. Just speculation. Just a bitter family looking for a villain. They demanded the charges be dropped. The judge refused. Then came a shocking turn. In August 2024, more than 3 years after Dee disappeared, Michigan State Police executed a new search warrant on Dale's property. For hours, they combed through sheds, barns, and fields. And then, hidden beneath tarps in a disused area of the farm, investigators made a horrific discovery: a large, welded and repainted anhydrous ammonia tank. Inside were human remains. The tank had been sealed with industrial precision. It had been moved, repainted, and disguised. Forensic teams worked for days recovering the contents. On August 21st, 2024, officials confirmed what Dee's family had feared. The remains belonged to Dee Warner. Her cause of death was homicide. The exact details were not released, but the silence from law enforcement spoke volumes. Public outrage exploded. Local news vans camped outside the courthouse. Protesters gathered outside Dale's property holding signs that read, "Justice for Dee." The $20 million bond was reduced to $15 million, but he couldn't make it. Dale Warner stayed behind bars, awaiting trial. Meanwhile, a new character emerged in the case: Dale's adult son, Jaron Warner. In early 2025, Jaron was arrested and charged with tampering with evidence and being an accessory after the fact. Prosecutors alleged he had helped move the tank, knowing what was inside. His bond was set at $125,000. For a brief moment, it looked like the Warner family tree had rotten roots going even deeper than anyone had imagined. But then, in May 2025, the charges against Jaron were dropped. Insufficient evidence, the DA said. Perhaps he had known something, but proving complicity beyond a reasonable doubt was another matter. The drop only added to the swirl of public suspicion and internet theories. Who else knew? Who else helped? How long had Dee been inside that tank while the world kept turning? With the body recovered and the legal dam breaking, Dee's children filed a $100 million wrongful death lawsuit against Dale. The lawsuit demanded the release of estate assets, blocked Dale from further manipulation of shared accounts, and laid bare the horror their family had endured. It wasn't just a murder. It was a betrayal that cut through blood, business, and trust. And through it all, Dale has maintained his innocence. The trial is now set for September 2nd, 2025. Dale Warner will stand before a jury of his peers, accused of murdering the woman who bore his child, ran his businesses, and shared his home. The state will present evidence collected over 4 years, including forensic reports, financial records, witness testimony, and the welded steel tomb he built to hide his crime. Dee's family will sit in that courtroom, inches from a man they believe destroyed their lives. They'll hold photos of her smile, wear her favorite color, and wait, once again, for justice. But justice, like Dee's body, was buried deep. As the trial date approaches, unanswered questions swirl like smoke in the courtroom hallways. Was Dale the only one involved? What really happened inside that farmhouse on April 24th, 2021? And what secrets still lie hidden beneath the concrete silence of that Michigan land? The jury may convict. The estate may be won. But for Dee's family, the full truth still feels like a shadow just out of reach. And somewhere out there in another quiet town, another woman is afraid to leave the man who controls her. Another family is ignoring the warning signs. Another story, just like Dee Warner's, is beginning to unfold. Will we see it in time? Or will we only find the truth once it's been sealed in steel? That tank wasn't just a hiding place. It was a message, a warning, a grave crafted not in panic, but in calculation, designed to silence a woman who refused to be controlled and to test whether justice could be buried as easily as a body. But Dee Warner couldn't be silenced, not by the cold steel wrapped around her, not by the fear that kept people quiet, and not by the man who thought he could rewrite her story, because her voice now echoes louder than ever, in courtrooms, in headlines, in living rooms where strangers whisper, "Did you hear about what happened to Dee?" And yet, even now, we're left asking, what else didn't we see? How many more Dee Warners are out there, missing, unheard, unsearched for, because someone powerful said, "She'd just walk away," and the world moved on? How many more secrets lie in tanks, in fields, in shallow graves just beyond the reach of truth? This case may be headed to trial, but this story is far from over. As we wait to see if Dale Warner will finally face the full weight of justice, we must keep telling these stories, sharing these names, demanding answers when silence is easier, because the next Dee could be anyone, and the person who knows the truth might be smiling at a camera, shaking hands at church, or lying next to someone in bed right now, just like Dale once did. So ask yourself, will justice rise from the steel, or will we keep missing the signs until it's too late again? If this story moved you, if it made you think twice, or if it reminded you of someone, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We tell the stories that others are too afraid to. And there are more chilling cases, more unanswered questions, and more voices demanding to be heard. Coming up next, turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's still buried beneath the surface.